WCCF AM 1580. It is 8:11. It is a Friday morning, and we're talking with folks from the Charlotte-DeSoto Building Industry Association. That particularly would be Donna Barrett. And we also have Fig Newton and Sharon Neuhofer. They are from Coldwell Banker Sunstar. Good to have you all here again this morning.
Thank you.
I hope you're having a good day. And let's find out a little bit about you folks. Fig, let's start with you. What's your background in real estate?
I've been in real estate now for about 14 years, and I was a salesman for years on the road. Take me back to, I went to 22 schools before I graduated from high school, and so I kind of developed that personality. I never met a stranger. Always been a good salesman. Well, I procrastinated about real estate for years and years. Finally got into it. We lived in Delray Beach for about 30 years. My two neighbors were very successful real estate agents over there. They kept saying, Fig, you got to do this. I finally had the opportunity to get into it over there. I did. I knew the state because I've traveled it for years and years. I knew Charlotte County was getting ready to explode as far as real estate. So talked my wife into leaving Boca Raton and West Palm Beach and the shopping malls. And we made the move over here and never looked back. We've been here. We got here about 6 months before Charlie did, but we've never looked back. This is our home. We'll never live anyplace else. I wish I'd have found it 30 years earlier. And I have two beautiful daughters. I have a wife of 48 years. She's gorgeous, and she told me to make sure, the last thing she told me this morning was, Big, it's not about you today, so talk about real estate. so with that note, I will turn it over to Sharon.
All right, Sharon.
Okay. Well, I have been in real estate since 2005. I got in just as the bubble started to burst. Here I am. Yay. So previous to that, I worked for the Charlotte CDBIA, which at the time was the CBCA, the Charlotte Builders and Contractors Association. And I had Donna's position back then. And then I've got 14 years of experience with the Florida House of Representatives. But real estate is my passion. I love it. I do residential real estate, vacant land, waterfront properties, acreage. I do not do commercial, but we have a whole different commercial team that handles that aspect of it. But I love real estate, and I'm here to list, to sell, and to help folks out. Help the Charlotte County that we love.
And one thing I forgot to add, I'm the manager broker there at the Morris office, Coldwell Banker Sunstar Morris. I don't sell, but I've got several agents, very professional agents that do. A lot of them have a long history with Punta Gorda and Charlotte County. So come see us, and we do need listings. And Sharon is great. And
where are your offices located?
Ours is located in South Punta Gorda, where the YMCA is. We're right across the parking lot from the YMCA. And then we have one right over here in Kings Highway in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center. We have one in Inglewood. We have one that's called the Murdoch location, which is right across from Lowe's. And we just recently opened one in Northport.
Wow.
So,
okay.
And Fisherman's Village.
I'm sorry, in Fisherman's Village.
Yes, we also have one in Fisherman's Village, but ours is the old Morris office.
Okay.
And I think the sign outside still says Morris. We haven't changed it. Okay,
no, they changed it.
Did they? Okay. Okay, never mind.
And how, if somebody's interested in buying or selling, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh, they can just give me a call. My number or send me a text is 941-815-0586. My email and my website is easy, SharonSellsFlorida.com, and the company has a different website, but just use mine. That's all you need to know.
All right.
Our company website would be ColdwellBankerFlorida.com.
So a couple of different locations people can go. You want to get a hold of Sharon, you go over to the one by the YMCA, right?
Absolutely, right on 41, south of the Dunkin' Donuts, north of the YMCA.
Right.
Hey, Fig, what was the most difficult real estate transaction you've ever had? Can you think back? Can you think back that far? I'm going to ask Sharon the same thing. Think about it, Sharon.
Yeah, let me think about that for a minute.
Okay.
Because there's been a couple.
I would imagine. Yeah.
It's kind of like childbirth. You put them out of your mind very quickly after they happen.
Yeah, I will tell you
but
this.
But then you have to celebrate every year after that.
But of course, all this stuff happens across a negotiation table. So, you know, when the guy says, well, this is what I wanted, this is not what I'm not getting, they get up and walk out, and there's no paper signed. And
that's what I was going to say as far as pointing out one of them. I think, and I'm very proud of all of our agents, but negotiations, that's the key to it.
Oh, yeah.
And the way you handle the negotiations, because usually lots of times the buyer and the seller, they don't need to be, but they're at opposites, you know,
Sure.
and some of them just don't get along. So just by handling the situation the right way and actually just kind of treating people the way you want to be treated, that seems to pretty much take care of any problems. And we very seldom have any problems with deals where they just fall apart.
Okay.
So we're actually able to keep them together. Not that some of them don't try to, but our agents are very professional. So
Now, when you're getting ready to sell, would the seller have an inspection team come in, or would that be the buyer's option to not have the inspection team come in?
Well, the seller may have an inspection done if they want to prior to listing
Okay.
the house so that
That-
they know if they have any issues. But
They
that
get them
doesn't
fixed,
say when
right?
the buyer comes in, because the buyer has a right to inspect as well.
Okay.
The buyer's inspector may find something different. You know, every inspector may find something different, so it doesn't guarantee that you have no problems. It might mean that these problems have been addressed, but you still might have some.
And that's a good thing for the buyer to do, so they know
Absolutely, we
exactly what
recommend
they're
it,
up against.
absolutely, whether you're paying cash, whether you're getting a loan, however you're purchasing that residential dwelling, please have an inspection. It's worth the money that you pay. You want to know what you're getting into.
and a survey also is very important.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
surveys.
Oh, yeah.
That goes without doubt. Usually the buyer doesn't order that. The title company handles the surveys,
Yeah.
and because you want to make sure the house is on the lot that it's supposed to be on. And believe me, in Charlotte County, it has happened where that was not the case.
And Dr. John,
Yes.
going back earlier too, talking about another very important thing, it's getting less and less, but permits. Find out if there was some electrical work done, because after the hurricane,
Right.
there was a lot of kind of home projects that were done, electrical or plumbing. So it's very important to find out if permits were pulled for those.
Yeah, I was absolutely surprised by how many permits you need in this particular part of the world. I was replacing the front door because it's for whatever reason, and so I was just going to replace the front door, and then somebody said, "You get a permit." I said, "Well, what do you need a permit for? There's a door there now, and I'm going to put another door there, you know?"
Yeah.
Well, no, you have to go get a permit. So that's an excellent tip. I don't know, does the city or county keep track of that? Do they go check
Yes.
against, was there a permit for this particular
You can actually
function?
go on to, and you're listed, if you're talking about listing a property or if you're a buyer being represented by an agent, your agent should go look onto the websites. The City of Punta Gorda has a site you can check permit history, as does Charlotte County. You can check permit history on both of them. If I'm seeing something that was done and I'm not seeing a permit, there are times when I will contact the county or the city and say, is there something not showing up on here that you've got? Because honestly, in 2005, after Charlie, permit, I mean, it was just got crazy, absolutely crazy, and things kind of happened. But and sometimes it can be explained, sometimes it can't. But if you're getting an unpermitted job, you need to know it because it's going to be your obligation to bring it up to code if it's
Yeah.
not.
Thing is,
So that's the big point in terms of you as the buyer. If the job wasn't done properly, then it's you, the buyer, who's responsible to bring it up to code, or
Once you buy it,
you got to
yes.
negotiate it.
Buyer beware. Yeah, the buyer
Yes.
has to take care of that. And one quick thing too on speaking of that same type of thing, liens. After the hurricane and everything, there was a lot
yeah.
of companies
Yeah.
that came and went.
Yep.
Well, some of them dropped liens on some of these homes. Well, if they haven't sold that home or haven't looked at anything, you know, that lien's still there.
Right.
So that's something too they need to check.
Okay, well, we're coming up on 8:20, and Tom, I have to tell you, Mother Nature washed my car 3 times yesterday.
I know our weather forecast, even though it came from the National Weather Service, was